ready? Okay, Public Works Committee will come to order. We have the first resolution to consider is 2023-359, a resolution authorizing the executive to advertise for bids for construction of project Q166 pump station number 36, replacement and force main improvements for an estimated total cost not to exceed $2,672,000, and to authorize the executive to apply for and execute a cooperative agreement with the Ohio Water Development Authority for a loan in amount not to exceed $2,672,000 to fund the project located in the City of Hudson and Council District 3 for the Executive's Department of Sanitary Sewer Services and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Chair. Michael Vinay, Department of Sanitary Sewer Services. This is a capital improvement project to completely rebuild Pump Station 36 located in Hudson. It was originally constructed in 1976 and it is at the end of life. This project also includes replacing 2,000 feet of cast iron force main with PVC pipe for longevity as well. This has been on our capital plan for numerous years and design is now complete. We're ready to move forward. Happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Mike. Questions from members of the committee, members of council, the public? John Donofrio moved on 2023-359. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 2023-360, a resolution declaring the failure in the gravity main sewer caused by sewer line breaks on Gorge Park Boulevard, located in the City of Stowe and Council District 3, an emergency pursuant to Section 177.07A3 of the Codified Ordinance of the County of Summit, and confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Wingfoot Rental and Development Company in an amount not to exceed $178,169.11 for the emergency repair to the gravity main sewer for the Executive's Department of Sanitary Sewer and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. This was an emergency repair that occurred a few months back during a storm. A large tree took out a 20-inch main. This line is actually not located on Gorge Park Boulevard. It is down in the actual gorge itself. So access to that line is extremely problematic. We had to bring an emergency crew to go down into the gorge and make that repair. Additionally, there were several laterals that crossed over into the gorge that had to be replaced as well. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions from members of the committee, members of council, the public. Gloria, you want to move on that? Gloria moved on 2023-360. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thanks, Mike. 2023-361. A resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a professional design service agreement with Civil and Environmental Consultants, Inc. for the Tusk River Watershed Study located in Council Districts 5, 6, 7, and 8 in an amount not to exceed $525,250 for the engineer and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Heidi Swindell, Summit County Engineers Office. When we were envisioning the countywide surface water management program and when we expanded it, this was always part of the plan. Summit County is rather interesting. We go to two completely different watersheds. We've got the Tuscaroras to the south and the Cuyahoga River to the north. So you will see two different regional watershed studies for those tonight, and this will go through the whole basin and figure out what needs work in it. They will do the mapping and some surveying, make recommendations for what projects to do and all of that. We did request for proposals. All of the submissions were independently ranked, and for this one, CED was the highest scoring, or CEC was the highest scoring one. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Heidi. Questions from members of the committee? Gloria, yes.
Yep.
Are we looking at conjunction with these two other watersheds, or is this like an independent issue working with Summit County and water?
Oh, yes. We will go out. We'll talk to Stark County and Norsid to the north, or the Cuyahoga one that we'll talk to. I mean, we'll be working together with everyone else who manages water in the surrounding county, but within the county, we're going to look at the whole thing. So we'll be looking at, even at the cities that aren't part of the surface water management program, we'll still be working with them as we do these. And
Would we be
That would be down the road, but yeah, we absolutely do, especially if we use the ditch petition process. We can, come up with a committee and have like 2 different judges from the different counties work together and all of that, but we can absolutely work with other places to have them contribute.
Any other questions from members of the committee? Members of council? The public? Mr. Wilhite, you want to move on that one?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Wilhite moved on 2023-361. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 2023-362, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Kenmore Construction for the Granger Road Bridge Replacement Project located in Bath Township in Council District 5 in an amount not to exceed $1,564,984.31 for the engineer emergency.
Thank you. This is just a standard bridge replacement. The original was built in 1913, so it's about time for that to be replaced. It is going to be replaced by one that's pretty much the same size and shape. It is funded. We got 100% funding up to that $1.5 million. We think the local share will end up being around $45,000, and I am happy to answer any questions.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Heidi.
It's a great
A
deal.
lot more of that.
This was the bipartisan infrastructure law. Yeah, we had it 80% funded, and once they passed that, they came through and said, okay, we'll take these 5 that you got upcoming and 100% fund them now. It's really nice.
Awesome. Thanks, Heidi. Questions from members of the committee, members of council, the public? I will entertain a motion. Aaron? You want to move on? Aaron will move on to 2023-362. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 2023-363, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a professional design service agreement with Tetra Tech, Inc. for the Cuyahoga River and Little Cuyahoga River watershed study located in Council Districts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8 in an amount not to exceed $352,858.34 for the engineer emergency.
Thank you. This is the northern part of Summit County, the regional surface water study that I just discussed the time before. This one's Tetra Tech, yes. Out of Middleburg Heights was the highest scoring on this one, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions from members of the committee, members of council, the public. Who would like to move on this one? Gloria moved on 2023-363. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, Gloria. Is there any other business? Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, one more.
One more. 2023-364, a resolution authorizing the executive and engineer to apply for federal surface transportation block grant funds, resurfacing project funds, transportation alternative set-aside funds, and carbon reduction program funds programmed by the AMATS in order to improve 18 projects in council districts 1, 5, and 8 for the engineer emergency.
Thank you. Every 2 years, AMATS puts out their call for projects for the next round of funding that they provide. They do have those 4 programs. The Surface Transportation Block Grant Program is kind of the big one. You can get the most money out of that one. We applied for the South Main Street Improvement Project for that. There's a link on South Main Street that hasn't been widened and improved yet with sidewalks, so we are hoping that that one scores high for the Surface Transportation Block Grant funds. For carbon reduction, that used to be the Congestion Mitigation Program. That we have 2 roundabouts that we proposed, and I actually think those are scoring pretty well in the preliminary rounds, so those might get funded. There's a Killian and Pickle roundabout and a Valley View and Chafee roundabout. The resurfacing program, they provide up to like $800,000 per project, so we've got a bunch in there. And then on behalf of a couple townships, we are applying for them for sidewalk projects under the Transportation Alternative Set Aside. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions from members of the committee? Members of council?
Just a quick, how many projects do we realistically think?
Realistically, yeah. I would think from the preliminary scoring, certainly nothing official yet, 4. Yeah, and then we've got 2 in here. It actually might be 6, but the other 2 are sponsored by different communities and we're just partnering with them. So technically that community would be awarded it, but we would still benefit from it.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Clearly, absolutely. Any other questions or comments from members of council? The public? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Wilhite moved on 2023-364. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
The motion carries. Thank you, Heidi. Is there any other business to come before the Public Works Committee? Then we are adjourned.
Planning and Economic Development will come to order at 4:43. Our first piece tonight is 2023-365, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Gator Construction, Inc. for the courthouse retaining walls rebuild project located in the city of Akron in Council District 5 for an amount not to exceed $89,777 for the Executive's Department of Administrative Services physical plans and declaring an emergency.
Good afternoon, Joe Eckenrode with Physical Plants. So this is the second part of the revitalization that's going on across the street at the courthouse. You might have saw a week and a half ago the favorable article that was in the Akron Beacon Journal about cleaning the monuments. Had some nice comments in there by Councilman Schmidt. This is going to rebuild the 2-tiered wall that was built out of the old steps and also realign both of the larger stones that are along the sidewalk from the existing steps all the way up to the end of the property. It was put out to bid. We had 2 bids. Gator came in at the lowest responsible bid. It was $10,000 less than the engineer's estimate, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Joe?
Madam Chair?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Joe, they did the retaining wall at the
Medical examiner.
medical examiner. So they've done work for the county.
They
in the
have,
past,
yes.
and very satisfactorily.
Very satisfactory.
Thank
Great.
you, Madam Chair.
Anybody else? I have a motion from Councilwoman Hyam on 2023-365. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thanks,
Thank
Joe. 2023-366, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control for a purchase contract with Montrose Ford at state term pricing for 2 2023 Ford Expeditions in a total amount not to exceed $100,635 for the Executive's Department of Community and Economic Development and declaring an emergency. Holly.
Holly Miller, Department of Community and Economic Development. This is to purchase 2 vehicles for our Home Weatherization Assistance Program to replace aging vehicles that spend more time at the garage than they do with our crew members. We are using state term pricing. Montrose Ford has them on site for us.
Great. Any questions for Holly?
I'll move, Madam Chair.
I have a motion.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So they spend more time in the garage because they're older?
Yeah.
Okay, not because we don't pay them.
No, because they're breaking down. Like, we have one down there right now because it doesn't want to break anymore. It's optional.
Any other questions? I have a motion from Mr. Wilhite on 2023-366. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Planning and Economic Development closed at 4:45.
I will call public safety to order at 4:45. Our first item is 2023-367, resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control for professional service contract with Suma Health as a best practical source for the Valley Court expansion and enhancement project for a 1-year term for the period 9/30/23 to 9/29/24 in an amount not to exceed $77,950 for the Court of Common Pleas General Division and declaring an emergency.
Good afternoon, Ken Tillis, Common Pleas Court. We received a 1-year extension on our grant from SAMHSA, and along with that, we were able to extend our contract with Suma Health. They have been a partner all during the term of the grant. This is using remaining funds on the grant, no additional cost grant-wise, and the contract is actually the same as the previous year. Glad to answer any questions.
Any questions from members of the committee? Members of council? Okay.
With no questions, I'll entertain a motion. I'll move. Motion by Councilwoman Darrow. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. 2023-368, a resolution authorizing the executive to sign intergovernmental agreements with the cities of Akron, Barberton, Cuyahoga Falls, Stowe, Talmadge, and New Franklin, as well as the village of Norton and Copley Township for direct indictment services to be provided by the prosecutor for a 2-year term from 1/1/23 through 12/31/24, with 2 one-year renewals at the amount set forth below, and to sign a new 1-year agreement with 2 one-year renewals with the city of Twinsburg for the prosecutor and declaring an emergency.
Deb Matz for the Executive's Office. So there are a number of contracts involved in this legislation. Akron, Barberton, Cuyahoga Falls, Stowe, Talmadge, New Franklin, Norton, and Copley Township all currently participate in the direct indictment program. We had some discussion with a couple of these subdivisions that led to the county conducting a time study through Matrix, or not Matrix, Maximus. I always get those two mixed up. Maximus does all of our time study work, which took a little bit of time. They had to look at the activities of the prosecutor's office. They had to talk to the folks in these different political subdivisions to see what their activities were. So we've updated the rate structure for the direct indictment contracts, hence the reason why we are getting January of 2023 to December of 2024, because we need to make sure that we have contracts in effect at the right rate for both 2023 and 2024. Some of the subdivisions continue to pay at the old rate, so they'll owe a little bit of extra money. Some of the subdivisions did not pay at all because the contracts had not been renewed yet. So they will be paying their 2023 amount. And then the contract will take effect for 2024 and have 2 one-year renewals. The Twinsburg contract is a brand-new contract. We're utilizing the rate that Maximus calculated for us to apply to the Twinsburg contract, and it has 2 one-year renewals, which is fairly standard. And I'm happy to answer any questions, and if I can't, we have Mr. Golonsky here just in case.
Questions from members of the committee? Other members of council? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
I think Rita got that one first. Motion by Councilwoman Darrow. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. 2023-369, a resolution authorizing the executive to execute the first of 4 intergovernmental renewal agreements with the city of Fairlawn and the township of Bath to provide beds at the county jail for inmates at a maximum of 2 inmates per day for a term from 1/1/24 through 12/31/28 at a rate of $158.79 per day per bed for the first year, with a rate increase not to exceed 2.5% per year for each of the subsequent years, for the Executive's Department of Law and Risk Management declaring an emergency.
We enter into these, Deb Matt's Executive's Office, we enter into these agreements for jail beds with municipal subdivisions because they don't generally otherwise have any access to the jail and they don't have their own jails. And so, as you see, it's just 2 beds that we're guaranteeing them, and we only bill them if they use those beds, but we bill them at the rate that has been calculated for pretty much everybody who uses the jail beds. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions from members of the committee? Questions from other members of council?
I do, just really quickly. Just a point of clarification, when I read this, when it said 1/24 through 12/31/28, it says first of 4 intergovernmental agreements. Is this for each year, or is this a 4-year block?
1 year with 4, it probably could have been worded better, 1 year with 4 one-year renewals, and each year it goes up 2.5%. They have the option, if they want at that point, to say, no, we're not going to have a jail bed contract anymore, or yes, we're going to continue with our jail bed contract.
Okay, because the way it's written, it looks like 16 years. But you're
Yeah,
not.
no, no.
Okay,
No.
thank you for that clarification. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I'll move. A motion by Councilwoman Walters. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes
Thank you.
have it. Thank you. And I will call public safety to a close at 4:51.
We'll open up finance at 4:51. 2023-370, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of of a professional service contract with Optiv Security, Inc. for privilege account management for a 3-year term for the period of 1/1/24 to 12/31/26 in an amount not to exceed $470,749 for the Office of Information Technology and declaring it an emergency.
Good evening, Stephen Byrne, Office of Information Technology. So privileged account management, core functionality of the software that's in place here. This is to help deal with the sensitive accounts across our network. So it does a number of things, a lot of automated process for it, whether it's vendor accounts or anybody who has elevated privileges on our network. It essentially does all kinds of containment on there, but most importantly, what it does is it helps protect against credential theft, privilege misuse, a lot on that side of the coin. The other big part of this it does for us is a lot of these check boxes that'll come off as far as our cyber liability insurance. So this checks a lot of things on there for us.
Committee questions? Council? Can I have a motion?
So
I'm sorry. Ms. Walters moves on 2023-370. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We have second readings here, 2023-352. A resolution approving and adopting the 2024 operating budget for the Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health Services Board of the County of Summit and appropriating funds totaling $54,117,124 as set forth in Exhibit A for the Executive's Department of Finance budget and declaring an emergency.
Phil Montgomery with the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget, pieces 352, 353, and 354, all concluded with budget hearings at last council meeting. And unless there are additional questions, we would appreciate passage. Thank you.
I'll go ahead and move on 2023-352. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Opposed? Okay, abstain. 2023-353, a resolution approving and adopting the 2024 operating budget for the Executive's Department of Job and Family Services and appropriating funds totaling $54,218,300 as set forth in Exhibit A for the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget and declaring an emergency.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Just for the record, I'm sorry, that was just one abstention with Jeff. Thank you.
Our last one is 2023-354, a resolution approving and adopting the 2024 operating budget for all funds, departments, and agencies of the County of Summit and appropriating funds totaling $565,733,269 as set forth in Exhibit A for the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget and declaring an emergency.
So moved.
Mr. Rogers moves. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And we will close finance out at 4:55.
I'll call to order the council caucus meeting at 4:55 p.m. Welcome into the chambers. I know you guys are all excited. I hope you all stay. This is our last caucus meeting of 2023. And I know you're excited to hear what's going to happen. So we have 12. First, before we begin, we have 2 presentations this evening. One is Commissioner Donna Skota, who's going to bring the council some updates, followed by Ms. Pesci, Lori Pesci from the Executive's Office, who will share an update on the Unite Us project. Welcome, Commissioner Skota.
Hi. Good evening. Donna Skota, Summit County Public Health, and I have with me Constance. And why we're here is for 2 reasons. I'm going to give you an update on COVID, RSV, explain and answer any questions you might have, and then we're going to talk about Narcan, and we're going to talk about a few other things as well. Projects in the county, and I promise we'll be brief. You probably have a very long meeting. Am I correct? And dinner waits, probably. First of all, we've been lucky. There's a lot of COVID, a lot of people are sick, but it's not really that severe illness that we saw initially, and people aren't being hospitalized. And we certainly haven't had as much death as we've had in the past, except with advanced age. You've seen some deaths in nursing homes. We've had some outbreaks in nursing homes, congregate living. But again, secondary disease plus COVID and advanced age isn't a good combination typically. RSV, again, it's not really ticking up like we thought it would be. Now the season just started really. People are just going indoors. You know, it's colder now. We could see those numbers, but again, not the severe illness we saw last year. And then again, as far as flu goes, again, minimal activity in Ohio. So we've been good, lucky so far this year. We still have free test kits available. We've brought some. Please take them. The other thing I want to mention that you may have heard of, first of all, there's the mycoplasma, and many of you have heard about China and some of the disease they're having with children and pediatrics and having like a pneumonia type disease. Denmark has another outbreak. There's been a few in the States. That isn't so unusual, and it's not any different than what we typically see with mycoplasma bacteria. It is contagious. You cough droplets, people inhale them. That's how you get them. But right now it's been in pediatric populations. There's been some areas that have had a fair amount of hospitalizations, but it is nothing new. It isn't something we're not used to dealing with like COVID. So it's been here. In fact, mycoplasma tends to be cyclic. So you'll see it tick up a few years and drop down, and then tick up a few years and drop down. And that's kind of where we're at. We're on one of those peaks right now. But again, not really severe illness in this area, nor have we seen it, but just in case you hear about it, I don't want you to think, oh, here we go again, it's a new COVID. It's not. It's something very old, and it's a bacterial infection. So we were asked, and I don't know, Representative Smith, if you want to say something before we start? No,
Donna, go ahead.
Okay, but
So
we...
before we get,
I'll say something. You know, the problem with these drug overdoses, and you know how many, Madam President, may I? With, how many have we had so far, Donna, this year?
Oh, it's been quite a few. It's probably up near 200 and some. They're not confirmed yet. Some take a while to confirm. It'll be higher.
Throughout the state, it's over 5,000.
Well, yeah, well, but that's 200 deaths. We've had lots more overdoses. There's not a good...
How many overdoses?
Throughout the state, it's...
No,
just
Summit
the
County,
county?
yeah.
I don't even know.
We don't know. We don't have a good number because people don't always report an overdose. We know what shows up at the ERs, but those are very few and far between the number of people that actually overdose.
Yeah, well, what can we do that we're not doing to stem the tide of overdoses in Summit County? This is, you know, when it happens to, we might say, well, if it doesn't happen to me, but when it happens to one of our loved ones, then it really brings it home. And this Narcan is something that should be made available. And until this happened to me personally with extended family recently, I never thought that I should carry Narcan around. Why, you know, why would I do that? I do now. I was talking with the mayor of Cuyahoga Falls about this, and he said there's fake Percocets going around right now.
Oh, yeah.
Where these people, they mix this crap in their kitchen, and they put fentanyl in it, and they've got a press, and Gloria probably knows about this. They've got a press, and they make these things, and then people take them and die from it. You know, and they're putting it in all kinds of street drugs, including marijuana.
Right.
You just don't know what you're getting when you buy something from somebody
You don't.
these days, and you know, so what can we do? Oh, and the mayor also told me that one of the places that they experience overdoses the most is at fast food restaurants.
Yes.
People will score their dope, and then they'll stop at the McDonald's to use, and they overdose, and so the paramedics are called. I mean, it's just crazy. So, what can we do to do something to stem the tide of this epidemic? We talk about all these other diseases, you know, but nothing compares to the people dying and the hospitalizations from this.
Yeah, because a lot of times you don't get a second chance. You know, it's one thing, you know, you overdose, that could be it for you. And you're exactly right about the fake pills, what looks like, what it could be. I've had people say to me that they thought they purchased, you know, a little blue Oxycontin and it ended up being pure fentanyl.
Yeah, it's Russian roulette.
It's really much. So we do the media, the outreach, the educational campaign, but you don't reach everybody. Substance use disorder is a serious disorder where individuals don't have a lot of control over their brain at that point, quite honestly. And they make bad choices, and it's because of a disease. It's not because they're bad people. It's not because they've done anything wrong. It's that they make a choice based on a disease.
And we should all count our blessings that we are not burdened.
Correct. And that is a disease you never want to be burdened with, believe me. But we do everything we can. We put Narcan. Connie will tell you a little bit about, we hand out Narcan. We do try to get folks into treatment. Every time we hand out Narcan, every time we hand out syringe exchange programs, we always screen and ask folks if we can do anything. You know, the ADM board, we work cooperatively with them on harm reduction strategies. You know, the county executives programs through all of the opiate money has been very effective in helping us counteract some of these issues as well in regards to ER, being able to be in the ER, get treatment if you want it. The thing to remember is, in the moment, having Narcan or something you can save somebody with is important, because the bottom line is people can recover, and folks do. And what we're trying to do is keep people alive long enough so that they can have that chance to go into recovery. I'm not going to say it's going to be an easy road, but we can help you. We can get you where you need to be, at least to where your brain can think right, and you can do better, and not put your life at risk. Yes, ma'am.
My question is, so like, say if you think somebody's overdosing and you give them Narcan and they're really not overdosing, it's another medical condition, and you don't know that, how would you even know if they're overdosing?
Well, you give it, you administer the Narcan, it won't hurt them. So it won't hurt them at all. You can give it to anybody, it won't hurt. And if they don't revive, then obviously you're going to have called 911. They'll assess the patient, but you can give it to anybody. You see somebody passed out, give them Narcan. You want to.
And another thing, working with drug addicts on a regular basis, it's a desire. They know that they can die every time they use, but the desire is stronger than dying.
It's a brain disorder. So I'm going to let Connie talk to you a little bit. Constance will tell you about some of the programs. One thing I want to tell you about, she's going to mention this, but we do have now in the county, what we said, 145 nalox boxes? Yeah. And we'll show you one. Actually, you hang them up, and they have Narcan in them. So anybody, it's like an AED, it's like a rescue, we put them everywhere. So anywhere anybody will take them, we put them up. And so we can get them in, and then you would have Narcan available to use. And we have one back here you can look at. The state of Ohio, ODH, gave us money to buy them. They're about $300 or $400 each, I think, right? Yeah. And so, but we're actually trying to get another manufacturer to make them cheaper so we can put more up. So we'll see if that works out or not. But yeah, so she'll tell you a few things. Here you go, honey.
So, Commissioner, with the boxes, in terms of dispensing the Narcan to the public, do people still have to register that to? No.
Well, we know where it went. If you have a Narcan box, we know where your box is, and then we have a way set up, some sort of communication pattern so that we can check it for expiration dates all the time. And so we know where it's at.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay. So my name's Constance, and I work with the Recovery Friendly Workplace through Summit County Health Department.
I can be Dana.
So, go into the mic? Oh, pull it down. Okay. It sounds like I'm echoing. Yes. So my job is to educate people on the Nalox box and Narcan. So let's see. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. But yeah, so I go into agencies, I see, and I do a lot of tracking with the overdoses. I get reports from APD. I look at addresses and see which zip codes are experiencing the most. One of our big ones is the McDonald's over across from SUMA. I was just there less than a week ago, and our Narcan's gone from our Nalox box when I went there today. So I replace it. and then hopefully it's not used, but it's always there if it needs to be. That particular location has had a few deaths, over this past year. And we're just trying to keep people alive, like Donna had said, just to give them that second chance. So we provide training along with the nalox box. So any employee will receive that training. Even if they have a high overturn, we'll more than willing come back out and do another training. We're also working on including it into orientations when new hires come on. So. Yeah, and we do have the vending machines. There's one located at the Barberton Municipal Court Building. Not municipal, it's the Barberton, did I say that right? It is, okay. There's one located there, and we have another vending machine located at Community Health Center, the CHC, and that's where they can get any type of, well, not any, but most types of harm reduction. So it would be Narcan, some CPR face shields. There's numerous other things like feminine hygiene products, personal hygiene products, and they're all available for free.
Are the test strips in there or no?
Yes, they are. Thank you for bringing that up. So that was another big thing, is test strips. We're trying to reduce people overdosing on fentanyl. So we have the fentanyl test strips, and we also have the xylazine test strips, and the street name for that is Tranq. So the problem with that is that Narcan does not work on Tranq or xylazine because it is a tranquilizer. So people usually will not regain consciousness. They will just continue to sleep. An overdose is lack of breathing, an overdose from fentanyl. So that's where the Narcan comes in. Give them a shot of the Narcan, a dose, I should say. It's not really a shot. And then we're really just buying time until EMS gets there. So each one contains 2 doses. Do you want me to run through of how you would use it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. Uh-huh.
What symptoms are we looking for that make somebody,
Question.
make us think that we need to get
Right, yeah, so it's going to be, well, number one, they're going to turn colors because they're not breathing. The brain receptors get clouded with the opiate, and they're not able to tell themselves to breathe. So what this does.
Somebody said that the ears turn color?
Yeah, so especially if you are experiencing somebody that has a darker complexion, you're going to see it in their gums. The gums are actually going to turn colors. The nail bed will turn colors. The ears, yeah, probably, but hopefully we don't get that far along, So, mhm. Mhm.
At what point do we think we're giving them Narcan
Mhm.
versus
So it's only going to affect their breathing. Usually the heart is still, beating. So, yeah, and we're always going to call 911 first because we don't know, right? So, and like I said, we're just trying to buy time. It's not going to hurt anybody. It's approved for pregnant women. It's approved for children. And that's why these naloxone make it very easy and accessible, because even if people take it, they probably need it, Most people that see this box and they don't know anything about it, they're not going to take it, But if they do, then they probably should have it, right? So, yeah, we're just going to, you're going to hear gurgling also. That could be a sign. Just really hard to grasp air. So you'll open up. Did you have a question? I'm sorry. Uh-huh. Yes, they do. Uh-huh. Yep, they come down and see us and come and pick up cases at a time. Mm-hmm.
If you had a case in one of your facility, like a business or anything like that, and somebody takes it, will you guys come around and check the boxes on a regular basis and refill them?
Yeah, so we have a 24 to 48 hour window that we have to have it replaced by. Go ahead.
So someone in the facility checking to make sure it's there and alerting you?
Some. Most places, they're checking it on their own. It's a monthly, check-in. There's a QR code that we put onto the box. It's very simple. All they have to do is scan it, it hasn't been tampered with, or is everything in there that's supposed to be? And then I'm the one that personally goes through and checks everything. They also have to submit a photo to make sure that everything's there. Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, yes.
Some facilities build it into their regular process. They check their AEDs, their fire extinguishers. I mean, that's what we do at the health district. We check everything every month, so they just check it and look.
Yes.
And my employer. They're overdosing. Do you ever like stop there and see about getting one and if somebody's in there?
They have one. Yeah. Yeah. So I was just there last week because that's one location that I personally do the inspection on. And Narcan was missing because there's always 2 kits in each box. And there was some missing, so I replaced it. That was last week. I went in there today to also replace some alcohol wipes, gloves that are also in the container, and there was another Narcan missing.
And I will just say, my employer is signed up as a recovery-friendly workplace, and
Very
we have
nice.
one of the Narcan kits at our facilities, and they're very easy to check in, notify whether you're in need of refill or not. And if you don't follow up, there is a follow-up from the health department, so it's very, very convenient.
Thank you. Yeah, so back to the overdose. If you experience somebody that is changing colors, maybe gurgling, not able to breathe on their own, we're going to call 911 first, always, and then we're going to take out our Narcan. So each package looks like this inside the kit. So there's 2 doses. You're just going to grab the 1 dose, you're going to stick it into the nostril, and you're going to, push the plunger, which my plunger is out, I'm sorry, but it looks like this. It just sits inside there. It's just like Flonase, it's just a nose spray, and then you're going to administer it into the one side. That's when we would recommend rescue breaths, because that's what we know to be very important. So that's when you would use your disposable face shield, put that over, give rescue breaths, wait 2 to 3 minutes, and administer the other medication on the other side, just in case there's any blockages. We want to make sure that we're going on both sides. Yes. Yes. No. Yes. While you're waiting, you want to do those rescue breaths. Yeah. And then hopefully by that time, EMS is there and they're going to take over. If not, you're going to go and grab your other kit from your Nalox box, or if you have any personal on you, you want to keep administering until EMS gets there. So they're not going to wake up, in a frantic and be swinging like a lot of people might think, but they are going to be confused because now they have probably circled people around them and they're touching them and putting things in their nose, and nobody wants to come, wake up like that. So they're probably going to be a little nervous or scared, So I would always recommend just giving them a little bit of space, when they do come to. And as far as with the xylazine that is now found in the opiates, they're going to continue to sleep. They're not going to regain consciousness. This is only to reverse opioids.
Jeff, just how could I get a kit? In a lockbox?
I'm glad you asked. Yeah. So I did bring a sign-up sheet with me today. If anybody is interested, they feel free, please. We, like Donna had said, we have over 140 out in the community. Some places, they never have to use it, right? And that's the goal. Other places, they use it on a weekly basis. So, like I said, we're just trying to save lives and give these people another chance. And sometimes people ask like, oh, aren't you enabling them? And no, you're not, because you only have 2 options in that time. Either you're going to help them or you're going to watch them possibly die, So we're just trying to not watch people die.
Thank you. Any other questions, members of council?
Yes.
You had mentioned, this is important, something you mentioned about the, when, like, say you're doing this and you're waiting for the rescue squad, you did mention that if it's something else in their system, they're going to continue to sleep, and this is not going to work. Did I
Yes.
catch that?
Yes, you did. But the difference between an opioid overdose is that they're not going to be able to breathe. The tranquilizer, they're still going to be able to breathe, they're just not going to wake up. Yes.
So after you administer this, about how long will it take for somebody to kind of start coming around a little bit?
Possibly 2 to 3 minutes. And if not, then continue to give them more Narcan. Yep, every 2 to 3 minutes, always switching sides. Okay.
Anybody else want one?
Yes, please.
So we know the temptation is to try and help, but I think the biggest thing we need to remember always is to call 911 first before we start to do anything else.
Because we don't know. I mean, it could be a cardiac arrest. It could be many other things, you know. So, but this is not going to hurt somebody if it is a heart attack. So.
Thank you. Any other questions?
And who else wants Narcan? If anybody wants Narcan, just stop us, we'll get it for you.
Is there a correlation between like how much they may have overdosed on opiate to how much Narcan they would need then? That way you might be easy.
Yeah. So I've heard of some people needing 11 doses, you know, of Narcan. No, and it's not controlled. The opiate isn't controlled by the FDA, right, that they're using. And so we have no idea how strong it is or how potent it is or what else might be mixed into it. So,
Is that 4 milligram each?
yes.
Yeah. When we started this whole thing, we used to have 2 milligram Narcan, it wasn't enough, now we have 4, and there's even 8.
Yeah. So that's EMS gets there and they have the really, you know, strong Narcan. They can do that intravenously and take over.
One more question. So when we are giving them breath, we don't actually like we just give the breath in and remove our face and then do it again, like don't like breathe in.
No, Yeah, and you wouldn't need to do any type of compressions because it's not the heart that's affected. It's just their breathing. And those disposable ones they're one way, so that's a good thing.
Okay, yeah, 'cause I was wondering about that, because I feel like, you know what I mean, I go like,
And
somebody else asked.
just one more thing, whenever Narcan's administered, it's going to throw these individuals into a withdrawal. You know, so instant sickness, all the reasons why they continue to use is all going to come up. And they can go back into an overdose because this does have a wean time. So it's about 30 minutes. So definitely always 911. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yep, exactly. Yeah. One arm up, you know, one leg over on their side. Yeah, I would probably 20 seconds is probably what I would wait. I mean, whatever feels natural, that's what I would go with, you know. Yes. Right. Yeah. And, you know, we're also seeing overdoses not just in the addiction community, it's even in the aging community also. People are forgetting that they took their medication and they're taking double, you know, and that happens to me all the time. I'm like, oh, did I take my med? Okay, I think I did. It'll be a good day. So, you know.
Councilor Snit.
Yeah, thank you, Madam President.
All
I
right.
just want to thank you, ladies. That was a very meaningful demonstration. Thank you, Donna. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks very
thank you.
much.
So next year you won't be as nervous.
No,
Okay.
not at all.
So thank you. Ms. Pesci? Yes, ma'am. Commissioner?
Yeah, they'll charge you. Come see us. Yeah, come see us. It's expensive too. Don't, it's same as these dang test kits. Get them from us. They're free. They're free.
Yeah, you have to. I think it's $70 at the pharmacy for Narcan.
Yeah.
And we have it for free.
Yeah, you want one? Okay.
Just an FYI too, we are hosting community conversations around overdose and suicide. The next community conversation will take place on Wednesday at 6:30 at St. Ashworth at 1086 on Vern Odom Avenue. So everyone is welcome to come to that conversation. Thank you, Ms. Pesci.
Good evening, Lori Pesci, Executive's Office, Department of Public Safety. I was asked to come and provide an update on Unite Us for council. In front of you, I think Mark has handed out some of the statistics I pulled off of our system this afternoon. So far, we have 900 users and 135 organizations. We've made almost 500 referrals for 361 clients. Really excited about how this has been ramping up for Summit County. You'll notice if you look at the organizations sending and receiving, if an organization is not necessarily in Summit County, but may have a office in Summit County, or the individual lives on the border, they can be referred into or out of programs across the state of Ohio, and in fact across the nation with this network. So some of those referrals have gone to Cleveland or Cuyahoga County to some of the service agencies up there.
Lori, are these unduplicated numbers?
Unduplicated number, yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So internally, we have implemented the program through our Department of Economic Development, Jobs and Family Services, and Communications is also using it with the Executive's Office to help individuals who are calling in on the general line for services. We have what is called Care Coordination, which is a service provided through Unite Us that if Rachel or whomever might be sitting at the desk who takes a phone call from a resident who needs services and she's unable to make a direct referral in the system, she will refer it to the Care Coordination team through Unite Us. That's provided through our contract, and they will help connect that person with services. In addition to implementing it here with the Executive's Office departments, we're using it for different programs. I know Economic Development is using it with Direction Home to be able to make those connections and referrals through Direction Home. In addition, it allows the folks at Community Economic Development, when they're meeting on Direction Home referrals, they can also identify other needs the clients might have, which they wouldn't necessarily be able to do previously, and make referrals for other services. And again, JFS is doing using it for a couple of their select programs right now and looking to expand it further. We are meeting with the Akron Community Foundation this month to talk about how they would like to use it for some of their funded programs. Public Health is on board. The ADM is looking to use it for some of its funded programs. I know we're also updating the elected officials and county officials tomorrow on the update calls, just providing an overview of what's happening and setting up additional meetings with anybody who might be interested in learning more about it. And we just continue to onboard agencies weekly with this process.
Madam President?
Yes, sir.
If I may. What I'm mainly interested in is how this has been implemented or in use for how long now?
So we just started, there was an implementation phase, and we just started signing agencies on probably mid-year.
Okay, so about 5 or 6 months. Okay, so this referral activity sheet that you passed out.
Yes, sir.
There were 495 referrals.
Yes, sir.
29 organizations sent at least 81 received referrals, 495 referrals total in 6 months?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the outcome of that was what? I'm looking at this.
So you'll see 15%, it looks like, you'll see the referral overview, the circle at the bottom.
Yeah.
15 were rejected, and you can see the rejection recall reasons. Some the clients might not have been eligible for services that were being provided. Some were forwarded on to other agencies. 73% were accepted.
73 were accepted? What does that mean?
So they were, so I have made a referral for housing. One of our housing providers accepted that referral and was able to provide services for them.
And
Was able to, I accepted the referral and was able to provide services. Now, we understand that this doesn't build capacity in our community. It doesn't create additional housing for available housing. It doesn't create additional available services. It's just making those connections faster and be able to track those connections. So we are finding that there are services that I think we knew going into this that we weren't able to necessarily meet, particularly housing.
so the referrals, top 10, Summit County Jobs and Family Services, that they referred 32% of the 495 referrals.
Correct.
32% of them, a third of them came from our Summit County Jobs and Family Services.
Correct.
Okay, and they referred people to, well, and 31% of who they referred it to was United Labor Agency.
Correct, and that's one of their programs that they're piloting. So they were very specifically focused on doing referrals between Jobs and Family Services and United Labor Agency.
Okay, and the rejection, recall reason, client is not eligible for our service. 32% of the people who received a referral, then they weren't eligible.
32% of the, 32 of the referrals, not 32%.
32 of the referrals or 32%?
32 of the referrals.
Client is not eligible for services. Okay, 32. Other, we do not provide the service. So 32, all right, so what? You're looking at 400 people were helped perhaps?
Correct.
375 people were helped. Okay, well, I'll take a deeper dive into this later this evening when
Sure.
I'm trying to fall asleep.
Happy to provide updates as we go along
Yeah,
and
please,
continue
because
to
we don't
implement.
want this to fall by the wayside. We spend a lot of money on this, and we want to make sure it works.
Fantastic. I spent a lot of time on it. I want to make sure it works too.
Good, thank you.
So when you get an opportunity, is
Yes,
there any
ma'am.
way we can see who the organizations that we've already on board? The 81
Yes.
organizations, I'd like to see that.
Sure.
So I guess my question wasn't clear, and I'm sorry about that. On the back page, the last page, it says users. I'm asking, are these services that people access, or are those unduplicated? Or are the users receiving multi-services?
Users are the people that are signed up to use the system. So those are the people that are in the different agencies that are using the system. They're not the clients.
Oh, they're not the clients.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since we only have 81 organizations, there are multiple users within an
Correct.
organization.
Yes, ma'am.
So just trying to understand, because my vision of what we were using Unitas for, if we were to bring on, say, Akron Community Foundation, how would they use the system?
So there are different components of the system that would allow their funded agencies to actually use the system, and then Akron Community Foundation, from a larger perspective, would be able to see how their funded agencies are using the system. It's more about Akron Community Foundation is paying for peer support, and so the peer support group would use the system to make referrals in and out for services, and Akron Community Foundation can sort of follow their success rate, if you will, and to ensure that their funded programs are doing what they need to do. So that makes you look like my explanation was not helpful.
So if I'm funded by Akron Community Foundation, I'm reporting back to Community Foundation, correct?
Yes.
So they're following that data? How do they see that?
Because they would be able to access aggregate data for the agency that they are funding. They will be able to see and track those referrals like you're able to see here, but more on a agency level.
So and I know this is probably,
Sure.
and thank you so much.
Sure.
I'm sure the report out will evolve as we go along, so it's easier to understand. So I was really excited about Unite Us because I just saw, as we talked about the benefit cliff and all of those things, how useful that could be in helping us really holistically serving individuals and families. That is still our goal.
It is.
Okay.
So Jobs and Family Services, there's a whole team working with them individually, working on benefits cliff programs and other services that are provided through Jobs and Family Services and those different funded agencies. And we are continuing to roll out more sort of systematically in different programs for Jobs and Family Services once they figure out their workflow and what they can use the system for, and then they implement with that particular agency.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. So, Akron Community Foundation, would their grantees report to Akron Community Foundation, or would Akron Community Foundation use Unite Us as a reporting mechanism for their grant funding?
It depends on what the workflow looks like. It has the opportunity to be able to track some of those outcomes through Unite Us, yes. And there's a lot of data that's being collected by Jobs and Family Services in a really archaic way. Excel spreadsheets, concerns about duplication or mistyping things, and being able to use Unite Us to support Jobs and Family Services is really an efficient and more consistent and more streamlined approach to collecting that data and making sure they have reliable data.
Any other questions from members of council? Hearing none. Thank you, Ms. Pesci.
Thank you.
Tonight, we have no motions. We have 12 first read passage requests. 2023-371. We have Ms. Heidi Swindell to address council.
Thank you. Heidi Swindell, Summit County Engineers Office. This is a $20,000 change order for our bridge engineering task order contract. This will just bring us through the end of the year. Arcadis does a lot of our bridge inspections. They do a lot of bridge design reviews. They're like our independent eyes on the bridges whenever we need a second opinion. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are you good, Mrs. Councilors?
Thank you.
Thank you. 2023-372. We have Mr. Joe Eckenrode to address council.
Good afternoon, Joe Eckenrode, Physical Plants, here with Heather Meeker, Director of Summit Art Space. Tell you a little bit technical about what the project is, and then Heather would like to add a few words of her excitement for the project also. So we're asking for bid authorization to upgrade the HVAC, some electrical panels, and also some finishes at the Summit Center. 4 points put together the construction documents. They're ready to go out to bid. And that's hopefully we get bid authorization tonight. With that said, is there any questions about any of the technical portion we're going to do? And then I'd like to have Heather add a few words.
So I guess I'm confused because I'm not sure I understood that to be the project.
Yes.
I thought it was for Windows. Am I somebody over there help me?
Windows were originally part of the scope, but the economics of it didn't work out. So this was part of the bond issuance we did last year. It's improvements to the overall facility itself, but it does not include Windows.
The electrical panels that are being replaced are considered, they're old Stablock Federal Pacifics. It's an emergency replacement. The HVAC system, over the years, we have replaced some of the units, the air handling units, but we're looking to extend the ductwork out to make the overall comfort of the building overall better. And then we are going to upgrade some of the finishes that are in need with the money that we have.
Thank you. Any questions from members of council? Do you want to add something? Nice lady over there.
First, before I talk about the building, I just want to say how meaningful it was to partner with Summit County Public Health in August on the overdose recovery exhibition, and we distributed a great deal of Narcan and fentanyl strips at that time. We look forward to becoming a recovery-friendly workplace in the new year. I'm excited to get one of those boxes as well. So thank you very much.
It was a great exhibit you guys had there, too. Thank
We're
you.
looking forward to hopefully doing that again next year. And this project is not only really important for the building, you know, we have a lot of art in the building. I would like to see, as would all of our resident art and exhibiting artists, a lot less art and a lot more science in the HVAC in the building. We actually really do struggle, especially at this time of year and in the spring, to try to control the various floors in the building. And so we have a great many people, including the general public, who come in who will benefit tremendously from this particular construction project. Although we will not be able to replace the windows, we are going to be able to replace the doors around the building, and that's a great first step. Those architectural aspects that Joe mentioned are going to be really vital for how we are improving our exhibition and gallery spaces in our building, in addition to just how we're able to welcome the public in. So this is a great first step with some very much needed improvements to carry the building into its second century, and hopefully the precursor for more work in the future. So happy to answer any questions specific to the project.
Any technology upgrades? I know we talked a little bit about Virtue.
Technology in the sense that between the HVAC and the electrical aspects, that's important, and we will throughout the building, not entirely through the building, but in some very key places, we'll have better general ambient lighting and directional lighting for our artwork, also for safety. A lot of the exhibition technology that might be very helpful is something that we're looking to hopefully have some support from the Art Technology Expansion Fund from the Knight Foundation in the future. So not within the scope necessarily of this project, but definitely on the radar.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any questions from members of council? Hearing none, we're good with this, Ms. Walters.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Eckenrode is up for 373 and 374.
Again, Joe Eckenrode, Physical Plants. The next one is a second phase of the paving project we're doing at Children's Services Board. This is going to pave the back parking lot. The front was done earlier this year. We put this construction contract out to bid. We had 6 people place a bid, and Parent Asphalt came in the lowest responsible bidder, and they were $16,500 under the engineer's estimate. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from members of council? Hearing none, are you good with this, council? 2023-374, Ms. Eckenrode.
Again, at the Children's Service Board, this project here is going to upgrade the exterior lighting. The original lighting is from 1996. We're going to upgrade it with all LED, energy-efficient lighting, and this will be around the parking lot, the same area we're paving, and along the sidewalks. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from members of council? Thank you, Mr. Eckenrode.
Thank you.
2023-375, we have Mr. Tommy Smoot to address council.
Well, good evening. Tommy Smoot, Executive Department of Public Safety, Emergency Management Agency. We would like to be able to move forward on 2 bids within this packet here. The first is a communications project. It was for law enforcement radios for Springfield PD, Bath PD, and the Mahoning County Sheriff's Office, I think their SWAT team, and then Springfield Township as well. The second item is their bomb squad x-ray scanners, and that's for Ashland County and Youngstown County. These will all be purchased out of the FY22 State Homeland Security grant funds. And if there's any questions, I'll.
Thank you, Mr. Smoot. Any questions from members of council? Hearing none, are you good with that, Councilwoman Dickinson?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sweet. 2023-377, we have Mr. Bill Holland to address council.
Hello, Bill Holland from the Sheriff's Office. This is a prisoner transport van. We're asking for first reading passage because I think the last time I was up here, they are selling them off a lot before we can get them, but this will be used at the jail to transport prisoners all over the state to other facilities when they ride out to prison.
Any questions from members of council? Hearing none, you get with that, Ms. Dickinson? Thank you, Mr. Howland.
Thank you.
2023-378, we have Mr. Ken Tellis to address council.
Good evening, Ken Tillis, Common Pleas Court. This is a final renewal of our contract with Oriana House for our Valor Court. We received a one-year extension on the grant, and we were able to extend the services to our participants with Oriana. They have partnered with us in the earlier years of the grant, and we are satisfied with their assistance. Glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Tellis. Any questions from members of council? Good with this, Ms. Dickinson. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Tellis. We have 2023-379, Mr. Craig Stanley to address council.
Hello, Craig Stanley, Administrative Services, Physical Plants. We're looking to enter into a contract again with the veterinarian that we used last year. There is an increase, talking with her and stuff, medicine, suture, everything that she uses for all the surgeries she does, and treatment of animals that have probably not ever seen a vet in their life before they come to us. The costs have went up and everything. It's working out really well. Preferably we'd like to have a vet on staff, but we have zero interest. And that's a lot of places are having the same problem. We tried to partner with the Humane Society, do things over the years, but it's tough out there right now to try to get a veterinarian and other folks as well. So we're looking to if you notice the name, it was good last year. Now it's great. She got herself into a little copyright infringement she didn't know about, but was told. So she had to change the name from good to great, and that's why there's a difference in the name. Yeah, right, 100%.
Thank you, Mrs. Stanley.
Thank
Any
you.
questions from members of council? Hearing none, you go with this, Councilwoman Dickinson. 2023-380, Mr. John Galansky to address council.
Thank you, Madam President. John Galansky from the Prosecutor's Office. This legislation would allow our CSA to receive or transfer excess funds. As JFS, you had parallel legislation for JFS a few weeks ago. The period is from 1/1/24 through 12/31/2025. Open to questions. No liability for the county. We don't have to participate, and if we did, it would be a voluntary choice. If we don't do the legislation, we're not able to take that opportunity if it arises.
Thank you, Mr. Galansky.
Thank
Any
you.
questions from members of council? Hearing none, are you good with that, Ms. Dickinson? Thank you. 2023-381, we have Ms. Deb Matz to address council.
Deb Matz. So this is just another one of those small jail bed contracts. This is for the city of Norton. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from members of council?
Thank you.
Hearing none, are you good, Ms. 2023-382, again, Ms. Deb Matz to address council.
Come to Deb Matz show. Steps. I'm all about Virgin Pulse. All right. So this particular piece of legislation is in regards to a settlement of a lawsuit that was filed in federal court in front of Judge Adams. The amount of $174,000. It constitutes a settlement between the county and three parties. It relates to a case that got filed as a result of transfer of a property through the expedited foreclosure process. We came a few years ago to talk to you all about the expedited foreclosure process. It's conducted by the Board of Revision. And this was a lawsuit that was filed as a result of one of those transactions. It's a full and complete release of the county, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from members of council, Mrs.
As a result of one of the transactions, what could you get into some more detail about that?
I'd be happy to
If
do it
you're
in
able.
executive session. That's my only problem with talking about it too much in open council.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions from members of council? Hearing none. Thank you, Ms. Max. Are you good with that?
Thank you.
Ms. Dickinson? 2023-383, we have Mr. Phil Montgomery to address council.
Thanks, Madam President. Phil Montgomery from the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget. We have before you the thickest appropriation legislation we've ever had. And I'll go through it and be happy to answer any questions. So on the first page, the top section is appropriating revenue and expense for the prosecutor's municipal contracts fund. This is where several communities in the county pay in to be a part of both the direct indictment program and the use of the Matrix software. So this appropriates the revenue from those communities as well as the salaries and benefits for the prosecutors that are in the direct indictment program. The next one is an increase in appropriations for our risk insurance fund. This is due to premium increases that happened in 23 that were unexpected, so we needed a little bit of additional appropriation there to do those chargebacks to the agencies that pay back into that fund. The last one on the first page is appropriating funds for contract services for the Summit Emergency Communication Center out in Talmadge. On the next page, we are adding appropriation of $1 million for our employee benefit stop loss. This is part of our self-insurance fund, and the claims were a little higher in 23 than we anticipated, so we need a couple extra dollars there. Now the next section, there are several pages. This is budget adjustments to redistribute budget allocations and add the budget allocations to transfers out to be able to utilize the ARPA funds for all of the capital projects that we've earmarked in the ARPA plan. So essentially what these adjustments do is they lower budget appropriations on the general fund in the areas where we're going to use the money. We increase it in the ARPA fund to be able to expend them, and then that frees up the money to then transfer those available dollars to the capital funds. That's the $107 million. And that will distribute and allow us to do all of these capital projects that are in the ARPA plans. So I'll pause there if there's any questions on that one. I know it's a bunch of pages, and then I've got another one that's a bunch of pages in a minute too. So that's the ARPA redistribution. The next section
So
on...
just really quickly.
Yeah.
So when I look at the description and we see the amounts in brackets,
The amounts in brackets are lowering appropriation, and the ones not are increasing.
oh, okay, thank you.
The next section on page 8, labeled various funds right after the ARPA funds, these are adjustments to salary and benefit line items. As we went through and did final end of year projections, this is where we think that we were a little short on salary and benefits between the GWI and the healthcare premium increases. This is just some cleanup. The next section, again, is the multi-page section. This is it's a cleanup from Munis, the implementation of Munis. You've heard me talk throughout the course of this year about some adjustments we need to do. This is specific to the special project funds. There is a technical piece in Munis in terms of how budget goes to a high-level object code or account, and then there's a bunch of sub-accounts that are used for tracking purposes where the expenditures are actually put, and that budget, there's a code that allows those sub-object codes to use the budget from the main one, but when Munis nets them, it doesn't net them, the sub-accounts with the top account, when it rolls forward the budget. So we had to unwind a bunch of stuff and move budget from the main budget line down into the sub-accounts so that they all balance at the end of the year for the auditor estate. So this is just a cleanup. You can see at the end of it, the end result is we're actually lowering overall budget appropriations by $6.6 million as a part of this cleanup.
So, Mr. Montgomery, do you
Yeah.
anticipate that the Munis will eventually be so clean that we won't be doing this?
Yes,
next
Brian and I have spent painstaking hours trying to get this all reconciled the right way, so that way we start 24 with a clean slate. And some of it
Yeah,
is...
because I was starting not to like Munis. 'Cause every time Munis comes in here,
Yeah, we're all, and a lot of it was, some of it was learning curve. Like we were explained things one way when we implemented it, and now that we're using it, we find that we need to pivot into another direction to use it the way it was designed. There was just a little bit of miscommunication in a couple areas, but we're elbow deep in it now, and we're fine tuning some of those processes.
Most of it's grants and projects that
deciphering it.
Last couple of weeks, this is like all we looked at, trying to get this stuff cleaned up before we close the books.
Councilman Smith?
So, Phil, so you said the expenditures are actually $6.6 million less?
It's not the expenses, it's the appropriation, the budget.
The appropriation, 6.6. And is that because you've taken items that were previously paid for out of the general fund and we are now paying for them with ARPA funds?
No, this particular one is the budget appropriation for the special revenue funds, so grants and capital projects. And so some of it is old budget that rolled that didn't need to, so we're just liquidating it, taking it off the books to make it no longer available. So that's separate from the ARPA one. The ARPA one was a few pages earlier, and that's the one where we're moving things off the general fund to the ARPA fund to open up funding for the capital projects that are in the ARPA plan.
So, Chad, we have,
Are we liquidating or are we just removing duplicate?
it is.
And so I guess I'm wondering, are we approving, you know, a carte blanche to spend money before we?
These appropriate, this is, so I'll give you kind of an example here. There is a project ledger and there is the general ledger. In Banner, we didn't have a project ledger. Every time we got a grant, we would create a new fund. So as a result, we had 500 and some funds on our books. So in Munis, for prosecutor, for instance, they have 20 grants. We created projects for each one of those. They all exist within one fund organization on the general ledger. And there's separate projects for each one. When we brought that stuff in, mapped it all, brought it in, then rolled it, the way the general ledger rolled and the project ledger rolled, and then throughout the course of this year, we closed projects, grants that have expired, which when we close them, they don't post to the general ledger. This is all stuff we've learned along the way. So when you see reductions, it's generally reducing the general ledger because we've closed things and or the way they rolled was not the same on each ledger. So it literally is syncing all of this up before year end so we can close the books, and then of course next year we will start over. And we've learned a lot about how we set up these projects.
Okay.
So technically, are we liquidating or are we just removing duplications?
A little of all of it.
In this case, it's moving from one to another, so it'll be a net zero. But there are some where we are liquidating and eliminating the budget that's not necessary, rolling into 2024.
The other thing I would say that when we've discussed this in a lot of detail, a lot of it is almost clerical in many ways. Like council's approved these appropriations previously. They got out of sync, so we're trying to get them back in alignment with each other. But some of it is actual adjustments, and we were like, because there's so much of it, to be safe when it comes to the auditors, we just need to take it all to council, have council approve it. That way there's no question about whether we did something with an appropriation without council's sign off that we should not have.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, if I may continue, Madam President.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
All these pages with salaries, employee, employee benefits, and then there's all these different amounts. You know, there's some in parentheses, minus $160,000, and then there's others, $2.25. I mean, could you explain what that means?
So a lot of, like the $2.25 most likely is the county provided life insurance. I think we charge, what, 14 or 40 cents a pay?
Some of it though is distributing from the pool object code down to like the life insurance object code, so that when we roll it, the expense occurs on the same line that we just distributed the budget to, so they net before it rolls.
Yeah, those amounts are directly from the financial system based on expenditures that have taken place.
Wow, okay. Thank you, Madam President.
You're welcome. Mr. Jonathan?
Recategorizing everything.
For that, it's liquidating some, but some of it, it's taking it from the budget line and putting it to the expense lines. Yeah. So then to continue the last two pages, the first item on page 31 is the appropriation council previously passed the budget amendment or contract amendments for both Tyler and Sikich for the enterprise asset management implementation. So this appropriates those funds. The middle section is additional appropriation in the community development block grant fund for or community development. The last one is public safety communications. This is for anticipated expenses, again, out at the Summit Emergency Center. And on the last page, we have engineer appropriations for the Granger Road Bridge project, as well as the capital adjustment for part of that Granger Road Bridge appropriation. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any more questions.
Any other questions from members of council? Ms. Gore?
So, to clarify, anything that says removed, otherwise added.
Correct, yes. If it is in parentheses, it's a reduction. If it's not, it is an addition.
And so you're making reference to page numbers, and this is ticky-tacky small, but none of our pages are numbered.
I will fix that going forward.
I really appreciate pages.
Yep, we can do that.
Thank you.
Any other questions from members of council? Hearing none, are you good? You're welcome. Mr. Donofrio? Thank you. Again, we have 13 first read, 12 of which are first-time read passage requests. We have no late filings. Routine legislation found on page 5 through 8. We do have 3 third readings. We'll now rise for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilwoman Erin Dickinson, followed by a moment of silence. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Schmidt.
Here.
Ms. Hyam.
Here.
Mr. Donofrio. Mr. DeVitas. Ms. Dickinson.
Here.
Ms. Sims.
Here.
Mr. Wilhite.
Here.
Ms. Darrow.
Here.
Mrs. Rogers. Ms. McKinney. Ms. Walters.
Here.
Can I get a motion to approve
So
meeting
moved,
minutes
Madam President.
from November 27, 2023? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
First readings 2023-371, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of change order number 2 to a professional services contract with Arcadis US Inc. in an amount not to exceed $20,000 for a cumulative increase of 33.33%, for a total amount not to exceed $200,000 for the engineer emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-371.
Have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-371. On the suspension, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-372, a resolution authorizing the executive to advertise for bids for the Summit Center renovations project located in the city of Akron and Council District 5 for an estimated total cost not to exceed $910,000 for the Executive's Department of Administrative Services, Physical Plants Division, emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-372.
Have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-372. On the suspension, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-373, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Perrin Asphalt Company for the pavement improvement project for the rear parking lot at the Summit County Children's Services Administration Building located in the city of Akron and Council District 4 in an amount not to exceed $137,500 for the Executive's Department of Administrative Services, Physical Plants, emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-373.
Have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-373. On the suspension, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-374, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Hilscher Clark Electric Company for the exterior lighting improvement project for the Summit County Children's Services Administration Building located in the city of Akron and Council District 4 in an amount not to exceed $51,880 for the Executive's Department of Administrative Services Physical Plants Emergency.
I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-374.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-374. On the suspension, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-375, a resolution confirming the awards by the Board of Control for purchase contracts for multiple pieces of equipment for various special operations teams and law enforcement departments for a total amount not to exceed $219,452.38 for the Executive's Department of Public Safety, Emergency Management Agency, Emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend rules and adopt 2023-375.
Have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-375. On the suspension, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-376, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a renewal, first of 4, of a marketing agreement with Alliance Media as best practical source for the Veteran Service Commission 2024 advertising campaign for a one-year term from 2/15/24 through 2/14/25 in an amount not to exceed $100,000 for the Veteran Service Commission emergency. 2023-377, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a purchase contract with Montrose Auto Group at state term pricing for a 2024 Ford Transit van in a total amount not to exceed $55,459.54 for the sheriff emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-377.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-377. On the suspension, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-378, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a professional service contract with Oriana House, Inc. as a best practical source for 2 full-time case managers and 1 full-time recovery support specialist to provide support and treatment services to Valor Court participants for a one-year term from 9/30/23 through 9/29/24 in an amount not to exceed $201,490 for the Court of Common Pleas General Division Adult Probation Emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-378.
Have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-378. On the suspension, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-379, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a professional service contract with the Great Life Spay Neuter Wellness, formerly known as Good Life Veterinary Preventive Care LLC, for veterinarian services at the Animal Control Facility located in the city of Akron and Council District 5 for a one-year term for the period 4/1/24 to 3/31/25 in a total amount not to exceed $114,400 for the Executive's Department of Administrative Services Division of Animal Control Emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-379.
We have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-379. On the suspension, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-380, a resolution authorizing the prosecutor or her designee to initiate through the state of Ohio's County Financial Information System the acceptance by the prosecutor's Child Support Enforcement Agency of intercounty transfers of surplus funds from other Ohio counties and to release surplus County of Summit funds to other Ohio counties in exchange for those accepted funds for a 2-year period from 1/1/24 through 12/31/25, provided that the collective funds released in a given calendar year do not exceed the collective funds accepted in that calendar year for the prosecutor emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-380.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-380. On the suspension, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-381, a resolution authorizing the executive to execute the first of 4 intergovernmental renewal agreements with the city of Norton to provide beds at the jail for city inmates at a maximum of 2 inmates per day for a term from 1/1/24 through 12/31/28. for a rate of $158.79 per day per bed for the first year, with a rate increase not to exceed 2.5% per year for each of the subsequent years for the Executive Department of Law and Risk Management emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-381.
We have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-381. On the suspension, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-382, a resolution authorizing the executive to execute a settlement agreement and release in an amount not to exceed $174,000 to settle all claims arising out of or concerning issues raised in the lawsuit TR Construction v. Summit County, case number 521-CV-01109-JRA before Judge John R. Adams in the United States District Court for the Northern District of Ohio for the executive emergency.
We have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-382. On the suspension, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-383, a resolution appropriating funds in order to meet projected expenditures for the balance of 2023 as set forth in Exhibit A for the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-383.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2023-383. On the suspension, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt the routine legislation found on pages 5 through 8.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt routine legislation found on pages 5 through 8. On the suspension, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Third readings, 2023-352, a resolution approving and adopting 2024 operating budget for the Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health Services Board of the County of Summit, and appropriating funds totaling $54,117,124 as set forth in Exhibit A for the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget emergency.
I move on 2023-352.
I have a motion on to adopt 2023-352. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-353, a resolution approving and adopting the 2024 operating budget for the Executive's Department of Job and Family Services and appropriating funds totaling $54,218,300 as set forth in Exhibit A for the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget emergency.
I move on 2023-353.
I have a motion to adopt 2023-353. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-354, a resolution approving and adopting the 2024 operating budget for all funds, departments, and agencies of the County of Summit and appropriating funds totaling $565,733,269 as set forth in Exhibit A for the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget emergency.
I move on 2023-354.
I have a motion to adopt 2023-354. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. There's nothing else to come before this council. Thank you all for a great, great year. Enjoy the holidays and happy, happy, happy New Year.
You have a nice one, okay? You too.